Well, the Kean University football team is getting ready to kick off the 2025 season under the guidance of Dan Garrett. Dan is embarking on his 20th year as the Cougars head coach, and he joins me now to talk about what the team can expect in the months ahead. Dan Garrett, thanks so much for taking the time today.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you having me on, and look forward to speaking with you.
It's all our pleasure. So before we get into this season, let's talk about your background and your passion for football. When were you first introduced to the sport, and how did it lead you on a path towards Kean University?
Yeah, growing up, I always loved football, loved watching it. My mom, a typical mom, Catholic school teacher, did not let me play, and I would ask every year, and she said, "No, you're not playing football." And then finally, in fifth grade, for 4 or 5 years, she let me play 1 year, and then that was it until high school. And then I had that itch and the bug, or whatever you want to call it, and I played in high school. That my path led me to Montclair State. Had a great career up there, and when I was done playing, I just realized I loved it so much I could not imagine my life without football, and it was just something that was innate. And here we are, and coaching now, going into year 29. I love what I do.
It's fantastic to hear. Now, you've been at the school for 2 decades. How has the athletics program grown during that time period, and how great is it to be a part of that family?
Yeah, I think the growth that Kean University has shown has been nothing short of amazing. When I got here as an assistant in 2003, this campus did not look anything like it does today. And now in 2025, our facilities are top notch. They're world class. No matter where we go in any other school that we play, we're going to be up there with just about anybody or better. So when you have people that come on campus, you have a wow factor. There's still a lot of people, South Jersey, that didn't visit Kean before, and they come up here like, "Wow, I can't believe you have this," and I'm so happy I came up. So the growth has been really, it's been rocketing. And now when you look at the buildings and the academic buildings and the campus and the growth that it's shown growing across Morris Avenue, it's been nothing short of amazing. And our athletic facilities are amazing. And to be a part of this family, we have a lot of coaches here, as you know, you've interviewed a lot of them. Guys like Neil Ivero, Margie Acker, the softball coach, Brian Doherty. We've been together here for a long, long time. So it's really nothing short of a family. And then you add all these other new coaches. I'm really good friends with Chris Swenson and Mo, the field hockey coach, and Sarah, the lacrosse coach, and so many others, not to name them all. But it is, it's like having a nice little family when you come to work. And it really is a family atmosphere with among the coaches and staff.
Absolutely love to hear that. Now, looking ahead to this season, who are some of the players we should be on the lookout for this year? Whether it's the star players or someone you think will have a breakout year, who are the names we should listen out for?
Yeah, I think one, when you talk about, defensively, Chris Amos is a senior. He's a returning first-team all-conference guy in the NJAC. He had a great year last year. He was dominant with every statistical line you can imagine as a defensive player. Tackles, sacks, interceptions, fumble recoveries. He had it all. Ran 2 touchdowns back on fumble recovery. So he's a guy that you should be looking out for. And he's drawn some NFL interest. We have actually the Ravens coming here today because in the spring he ran a legitimate 4.5 on the clock. For 2 NFL scouts, the Commanders and the Eagles. And with that being said, when you can run like that and you're 6'3" and you play DB, you're going to get a look. So he was definitely be a name. Some other guys on the defensive side of the ball. Trey Allen's going to be a junior at the cornerback position. Nicky Atchison is a defensive lineman. Claude is also another guy in the defensive line. We have 3 really good inside linebackers that are going to share time. Rodney Aqua, Alex Dekas, and Noah Mamry. And on the offensive side of the ball, you have some guys who've been with us a while. Christian Bueno had over 60 catches last year for us on the offensive side. He's coming back. He's a junior. Rocco is our quarterback. He'll be a junior, so look out for him. And then 2 seniors, Jalen Gundy is a wide receiver, and Matt Vingera. All have playmaking ability. And junior in the backfield, Ali Marzouk. I think all those names have the potential to not only lead us, but have ability to be better than they were a year ago and really help us out on the football field.
Now, Dan, coaching isn't a solo job, obviously. You have a lot of guys on your staff helping you out day after day. How helpful and important have your assistant coaches been to you during the football season?
Yeah, I think I've always said this from even a young coach, because I was thrusted into this at a young age. I think at the time I might have been 29 going on 30. And one is too small a number for this job, right? So you need to have great people around you. And I've been blessed from very back in the beginning where he's no longer here, but guys like Keith Miglorino is my full-time guy, and that's only I had one. And then Matt Kreider was another young man who's not here anymore, and they both went on to take high school head jobs. But right now, I'm blessed to have Dave Galante, who played for me. He's been on staff ever since he left. He had one stint at Rutgers for a couple of years, and he went to Bucknell, and then came back here. So he's had bona fide FBS and FCS experience. He pays attention to the details. He's great with the administrative stuff, so he's a huge help. And Evan Duran's also another guy who had some FCS experience. He was at Coastal Carolina as a recruiting assistant and then at Fordham for many years. So he is huge in the recruiting. He's done a great job. And having guys like that is really, you really can't quantify it or put into words how helpful that is, because it's not just the work they do. It's the relationship to be able to trust them and to know in this day and age that it's not, there's a lot of people in a lot of different fields who want to, when your back is turned, drill a hole in your boat. I trust those guys. Dave is a godfather to my youngest son, and he's not family, but he's family, right? So I think it's super important, not only the work they do, the quality work they do, the standard that they bring to the job, but also the loyalty and the trust to treat them the way I treat my own brother or my own family is just, you really can't put into words.
Love that. So you and the team are coming off a 2-8 season in 2024. How is the vibe as you guys head into 2025? Do you have any expectations?
Oh yeah, listen. COVID has set us back a lot. What people don't realize, and I'm never going to make any excuses. That's just not how I was raised. My dad would put a foot in my backside right now. So it's not what I'm going to say. But when COVID hit, we lost half our team. A lot of juniors and seniors at that time when COVID hit, they opted out of playing, and we were down to 51 guys. And then, we've been in a kind of a rebuild. And last year's 2-8, to the outside world, 2-8, how could you have a lot of success? We had a lot of success last year. I'm not saying that it's okay to be 2-8, but the people that we had in our program were all about us. And it was all about rooting for the person next to them and the guy to the right and the left and really caring for each other as a team. We talk about family here all the time. And they really did that. So when you're on a 2-8 ball club, coulda, shoulda, wouldas existed last year, but one or two plays here and there, we're a 5-5 or 6-4 team. So the expectation in the spring, it wasn't like we were in the spring, like tail between our legs, woe is me. It was like, hey man, look how close we were. Look how many guys we have coming back. We're going to be a young squad in 25, but there was a great foundation, and the foundation exists of 54 returners who are all about Kean football, regardless of their role. And these guys have really bought into choosing your hard as a mantra and growing on good soil. And choosing your hard is, hey man, when you choose hard now, you have a funny way of working out later on how things become easy. So when you have to get up early and you have to go to the weight room and you want to do these things to succeed, like things have a funny way of working out. It's easier later. But if you take the easy path now, right, things have a funny way of being harder later. So they really bought into that, and growing on good soil is a biblical thing we bought into. When you plant seeds, man, you got to do the work. And if you plant seeds on good soil, good things happen. So the vibe is phenomenal. We've really done a great job. And I say we as a whole staff, but Evan Duran, who our recruiting coordinator is, we have 48 freshmen, and that's probably the biggest class I've had since my first or second year as head coach. But these guys have acclimated to that foundation of the spring. It's been seamless, and we have great chemistry, great camaraderie, things that aren't talked about enough in the football locker room. When you have 103 guys, you have to have that vibe. So the expectation right now is our goal in camp was to get better every day. I know it sounds cliche, but that was the goal. We didn't talk about winning the game yet. We had a joint practice with FDU, and then we had another game scrimmage versus Widener, and we got better from that first thing to the second thing. So it's all about daily growth, and it's about taking care of the process. There's an old saying that Nick Saban used to say, trust the process. But I added to it because you can't trust the process if you don't take care of the process. And that process is vast. That process isn't just showing up to practice. That process isn't just showing up to the weight room when coach says. Like, those are just bare minimums in the requirement field. And then what you do and what you choose to do away for fun with your friends on a nightly basis, or what time you go to sleep, or what you eat, or how you hydrate, and what you do, in your downtime. Are you studying film? Are you studying the scout report? So there's a lot of things that go into this. So the expectation right now, I feel really good, and I hate saying it that way, but I don't want to quantify it with a number, but the expectation right now is to kind of get us back on track where this program was back, before COVID. And we had a lot of success early on here in my tenure. And even as late as 2015-16, I think we have the makings to be that type of team, to make a run, to have a winning record, and wherever that goes from there. But we can't worry about any of that until we take care of this week first. We have to have, the offense, defense, and special teams do their job. We have to do discipline things, and whether we score an 80-yard touchdown or we let up a turnover, the 3 R's that we're going to talk about on a daily basis around here, right? Reset, refocus, respond. The play is 4 to 5 seconds, right? No matter how good it was, you can't get too high. No matter how bad it was, you can't get too low. The next play is the most important play. So we reset, we refocus, and respond on that critical moment of time that you can control.
And finally, Dan, you must have had an impact on hundreds, if not thousands, of college athletes during your time at Kean University. What's your favorite part about being a head coach?
Yeah, I think, listen, where I am now, I can't believe how fast it goes. You blink and you're at 20 years. Seeing guys come back to practice and they're married and they have a wife and kids, and they're still telling me they use the lessons that we talked about when, we teach life lessons in football, right? And I think that is the best vehicle that I know to teach life lessons. How you do things here is how it's going to translate later on. So as a father and a husband now, when I see these guys come back, it's everything, because it's about character development. This thing is about trying to get guys to leave here better than when they walked in the door, right? And what that looks like at times, we get them with 18 years of bad habits. So sometimes that's a tough love, but I'm always going to coach someone's kid like they're my own. It's not going to be derogatory. It's not going to be demeaning. I'm pretty hard on my kids at home. I have a junior at Monmouth. I have a junior in high school, and I have a 5th grader. And I'm just as hard on them as these guys, if not harder, because there's a way you need to do things, right? The standard in life shouldn't get lowered, right, to meet that standard. The standard is here, and no matter what you do, you elevate your performance, whether it's in a classroom, as a son, as a boyfriend. Everything you do, how you do anything is how you do everything. So you should be mannerable. You should do the right things. You should take care of your business on a personal level, not on social media. And like all those things translate to see these guys come back now in their 40s, right, and have a wife and kid and successful in careers like state police, FBI, have a lot of law enforcement people and teachers. It's funny how it works out, right? Because, it's servant leadership, and these guys are all doing great things in the world. And I couldn't be prouder to have this privilege and honor to be the football coach at Kean.
Love and agree with everything you just said. Dan, congratulations on year 20, and I wish you guys nothing but the best this season.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. Well, that's it for this week's show. I'll see you next Monday. For all New Jersey sports and news, head over to ONNJ.com.